Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome everybody, guys. Let's take a look again on the euro currency. So you can see market yesterday has shown the upper direction. So we talked about it as the additional trading plan because here was the intraday OP target, but currently, guys, we should think on the market a bit differently without any relation to the technical targets, because as you can see, the market mostly driven by the panic of the spreading of the virus, especially in Europe right now, in the Middle East. So on the words from the leaders, political leaders, from the Donald Trump, who said that, well, probably would not see that this virus will be a strong impact on the market, so market could resolve these problems, so everything will be okay. So that has provided some relief, but it was really temporal, and recently market again shows the running into the safe haven assets. You can see some jumping on the gold market. We see the sell-off in the United States dollar in the stock markets. We see the drop of the crude oil. So the process is continuing. And investors right now are just turning to cash, turning to gold, and turning to assets of the money market. So this is short-term bonds, at least something that could provide at least some interest on the assets. So currently, the returning of the investments are more important than return on the investments, and in this direction markets are following. And from that standpoint, it's of course we could of course make some suggestions, planning here and drawing some extensions, patterns, and so on. But we should understand that there are real driving factors stand beyond the market that you can't foresee, and you do not know in what direction tomorrow the information will turn and what headlines will be on the virus spreading, on the impact on the global economy, and so on. That's why we need to skeptically take a look at this at some setups that we have and very carefully use them in trading currently. So as we see a really big tendency to the upside, we do not know where it will stop, but definitely it would be better to not go against it, and if you would like to trade it, better to wait for some retracement to follow the same tendency, because the momentum is really strong. Hardly it will be over immediately. Of course, this was kind of the V-shape, and we talked the same when the market was dropping, but that's more an exception rather than a rule of thumb. And in the current situation, it's more probable that after some pullback here, maybe market will continue upward action. So from that standpoint, it is better to not struggle with the running train. On the 4-hour time frame chart, take a look what we have. Our double repo pattern has failed. This market has jumped up and completed our OP target, and this completion was well, really strong. So it was not just some drifting, since housing of the moment, reaching the OP and then collapse. So this was really some kind of a thrust exist here, which is well, tells you that maybe better to not search chance to go short and just see what will happen. At the same time, guys, with this upward action, market has completed minimal target of the grabber on the monthly chart that we have discussed. So remember, in last week we said that we have the bullish grabber on the monthly chart, and the minimal target is completed right now because market has shown greatest top compared to this one. So it doesn't mean that market should reverse down immediately, but it just means that the grabber that we have is completed. What we could consider in the nearest term. So maybe if some relief again will happen, so we could keep an eye on some pullback here. It's the same levels. So it's 1065 support, circumference support here stand, and probable 10960 area is at 618. But in the current circumstances, maybe it will be too brave suggestion. This market will drop to the 618 anyway. The shape of this pattern has not been cancelled yet, and maybe it still will be formed in one or other shape. So maybe the right arm will be not as deep as I had drawn here. Maybe it will be smaller, but we hope that retracement will happen. Conversely, if market will continue upward direction immediately with the taking out of these stops and just will be rally up, well, in this case it will be quite different scenario, and we will need to adjust our long-term view on the market. But currently, as market stands around the neckline, we still could keep an eye on whether this hand shoulders will be formed. On the hourly chart, as we said, if you remember, this market could complete some kind of a free drive pattern, because you can see second top stands 127 from the first, and third is crossing of the two extensions, 1618 from the first and 127 from the second. This is typical ratio consequence for the free drive pattern. This is also shape of the butterfly. You also have some kind of divergence here. So let's see what will happen. So I would not call you to take the short position immediately, but currently we are mostly interested in whether these signs of the reversal patterns really lead market to starting of the pullback, starting of the retracement. If you still would like to take the short position, it would be better to wait for some confirmation that market indeed has started the pullback. Maybe it will be some kind of the hand shoulders will be formed, something that's later. So it'll be just safer for the taking the short position. Right now, well, of course you could try to take based on the butterfly, but the chance on the failure of this stop is really significant. So it's a difficult situation, as you can see, but that's how market look like right now, and we can't do anything, just trying to understand what's going on and trying to follow some our trading plan, the setups that we have, the patterns that we see right now in the markets.